folks, welcome ye all to yet another podcast of mine. Another Friday has caught up with us, people. Yes, it has. Flagons up to you all. My first little sip of the evening, people. It's ice cold and it's absolutely gorgeous. Flagons up. Ooh, a little dip before we get going. Now, I didn't have a huge amount of prep time for this one. So I think what I'm doing is I'm sort of flying by the seat of my pants, people, is what I am doing. But we do have some topics to talk about that I've been picking up on through the week, and as I've picked up from other podcasts that were interesting, and some stories that were just flying around that were utterly ridiculous. And I'm going to try and... Really, the main focus of this one is to go through the PlayStation 5 Teardown. So we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 Teardown. We're going to watch it together and we're going to chit-chat about it as we go through it. We're going to talk about people moaning about the sizes of consoles still and why it's so ridiculous that they are. Xbox overheating, false rumours, we shall talk about those. PlayStation changing the trophy system a little bit, people. And we'll have a little look through what that means. Although I think it just means it's a bit more interesting, and it's in general just going to make you a bit more interested in it and getting your trophies and clocking up your numbers. And that's pretty much it. So we've got those few things to focus on, but we're going to chat about them as long as I possibly can, people, to keep you interested without going on too much to bore you silly. So what I'm going to do is, much as like I have done before, we're gonna crack on with the PlayStation 5 Teardown first of all, and I'm gonna watch it on my phone machine, and you guys are gonna have it on the big screen while I'm talking about it. I'm just going to have a sip of this before we get going. Blimey, I'm thirsty this evening, people. Right, let's get my headphones on. It's interesting, this one. I'm putting my headphones on because, well, you'll look. Well, the guy is speaking in Japanese, so I don't know why I'm putting my headphones on, but I feel like I should, because watching it without any sound at all, it just feels a bit odd. So I'm gonna put, because it's subtitles, I'm gonna put my glasses on as well. Let's get old with my glasses on, eh? All right. Let's get busy. Let's get watching, people. I've not even talked about my week or anything, or the gym. I did 3 great 2-hour sessions at the gym again this week. It's really, it's pumping up, people. I'm getting there. I'm really chuffed with my progress, actually. I mean, that's 2 hours, a full 2 hours. So it's, at the moment, it's Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. A full 2-hour session at the gym just on weights. Okay, like there's... Well, it is just weights, and in between some sets I'll do some sit-ups and a little bit of stomach work, but other than that it's all weights. So yeah, I'm really chuffed with how it's coming on and how I've managed to push the weights up just over a couple of months so far. So, and I've not been able to run because I pulled my calf muscle. I think we established that pull my calf muscle was one of the Beatles, didn't we? Anyway, I should be able to run again come Monday, hopefully. We'll see how we go. I think what I'll do is this Sunday when I go to do my workout at the gym, I think what I'll do is I'll try and do a little treadmill session and see how my calf muscle's doing. Try walking, then try a little light jogging, blah, blah, blah. And hopefully I can get that back in the mix as well. So there you are. There's a brief history of my week, people. Right, let's crack in. Let's find my little clip here. And hope that the Bluetooth's still turned on. PlayStation 5 Teardown.
PlayStation 5
Here he is, Captain Charisma.
サイズは幅 104mm、高さ 390mm、奥行き 260mm と PS4 より一回り大きくすることに
I've left the sound up for you guys as well.
静音性の面で飛躍的な性能向上を実現しました。
He's basically saying he's got his screwdrivers ready.
USB Type-C ポートとハイスピード USB 対応の
USB Type-C port, USB Type-A port.
リア側にはスーパースピード USB 対応の
USB Type-A port is super speed USB 10 gigabits per second, gigabytes per second. LAN port, HDMI out, AC in connector. Interesting, no optical out, much like the X. Air vents, lots of air vents.
リア側はすべて排気口になります。ベースを外します。
Alright, so this was the interesting part for me. It was like, how does this stand work on its side? So it basically, you come with a little toolkit inside this thing. You can unscrew it, pop the little screw inside the case, and then it's actually used to sit it on its side, which you'll see in a second.
で、このキャップを固定しておきます。
You even got a little thing I put where the screw stand for the stand was.
ベースを回転させてください。
Nice.
このマークに合わせてベースを差し込んでください。
Clips onto the side there, and then you light it flat. Simples. So there you go. So that's how it works. I was dead curious about that, to be fair.
両側の白いパネルはお客様自身で取り外しが可能です。
I'll do that once, and then it'll be like that forever, to be fair. As long as it fits in my TV unit. Let's get the top off.
こちらも後ろの角を持ち上げてスライドします。
It's quite good. It's quite cool how these come off quite easily, and I'm wondering if we're going to get panels that we can buy, that we can swap them out for if we're not keen on the white, or even game-themed ones and such like. Look at that beast.
2箇所にダストキャッチャーを設けました。
Look at all the holes. That's what you're
ダスト
saying.
キャ
Look
ッチャ
at
ー
that.
に溜まったホコリは
They're actually for hoovering out. The dust collectors, effectively.
将来の拡張ストレージ用とし
So
て
basically, those areas collect the dust, and then you can just hoover them out
ロドット2インターフェースを搭
to
載
get rid of any dust that's been collating inside the console. It's quite clever.
ここから
Interestingly, I seem to have lost my subtitles for some reason. Don't know why. So I'm going to try and remember what he was showing off now. I wonder if they were YouTube subtitles then. That's
パンを
weird.
取り外します。
I should do the best I can, people. You might be seeing the subtitles. I'm not seeing them.
直径 120mm、厚さ 45mm の両面吸気の大
Cooling
型ファン
fan?
を搭載しています。ケースを外します。
Actually, that's true. There might not have been any, to be fair. But I do remember it. The subtitles about the little bits you can hoover out that collect dust. Another layer.
ウルトラ HD ブルーレイのドライブユニットです。
Yeah, so that's the Blu-ray drive, isn't it? Yeah, Ultra HD
ドラ
Blu-ray
イブユ
drive
ニット
unit.
は板金ケースで完全に覆い、
So he says that it's in some form of like really cool casing, effectively, that ensures that it's kept really quiet when it's spinning.
次に Wi-Fi 6と Bluetooth 5.1 のアンテナに
See, that was in subtitles as well, and I'm not seeing them. He's just taking connectors off to get to the next layer at this stage of the game.
を外します。
I don't want to pause it or fiddle with it because it's going to make it really hard to to level things up with you guys when I show it off on screen. So God knows where these subtitles have gone. I bet much wiser, crazier people than me know that there's just a simple flick of a button that gets them back, but I don't know what that is. It's not that long a video, there's only 3 minutes left.
8コア16スレッドで
CPU
最大 3.5GHz で
AMD Ryzen Zen 2,
GPU は最大 2.23GHz で
GPU AMD Radeon RDNA2 based graphics engine.
メモリーは GDDR6 を8個搭載し、バンド幅は最大で毎秒 448GB です。
System memory GDDR6 16GB, people.
HDD に代わり 825GB の SSD をオンボードで実装します。
SSD, which is going to make the world go so much faster instead of a hard drive.
読み込み速度
Custom
は
SSD
生データの
controller.
転送速度で毎秒 5.5GB と高速化され、ゲームのロード時間を大幅に短縮しています。
That's where all the magic happens, people. That's the board, the
PS5 の
motherboard.
SoC は小型の台を非常に高いクロックで動作させています。このため、シリコン台の熱密度が非常に高くなり、SoC とヒートシンクの間に挟む TIM と呼ばれる熱伝導材の大幅な性能アップが必要でした。
He's not even wearing a static wristband, people. That's how much he doesn't care.
長期で安定した高い冷却性能を実現
PS5 stamped on the motherboard. I love it.
液体金属を採用しました。我々は2年以
I
上
love
前
how.
から
Oh, there we
液
go.
体金属を
Liquid
製造
metal.
するための
Oh, yeah, yeah. I remember him talking about this. It's sort of a liquid metal thing that helps keep everything cool on the CPU, I think. But then wait till you see the heatsink on this this fecking fecker.
これが
Look at the size of that!
のヒートシンクです。
Holy shite! Christy almighty, it reminds me of the spaceship out of Stargate Atlantis.
形状
And
や
Stargate SG-1, what was it called?
ベーパーチャンバーと同等の性能を実現しました。これが
Just shows you the heat that these things are generating now, the power of them. Talk about it in a bit. Hey, what was that you took out there? Didn't see it in the subtitles. Is it the power supply?
これがプレイステーション5の全部品です。
There you go. Yeah, it must have been the power supply, last piece. So there you go. There's the bits and pieces that shove it all together, people. Good grief, eh? So, I mean, the idea of going through that really is just to give everyone a sense of just what's going on inside the console. And, you know, I think mainly as well just to see what's what with having to lie it down and how you... I mean, I think if you look at the size of it, interestingly as well, the first time I watched it, it seemed to tell you what the size dimensions were of it, and that clip didn't seem to tell me. I'll need to make sure I get exactly the same clip for you guys, otherwise I'm going to be well out of sync, aren't I? Never mind. I'm sure it'll all have worked out in the end, people, by the time you're watching this. I can take these glasses off as well. Let's get back to me not looking quite so old with glasses on. Well, I look the same age, funnily enough, with or without them. I'm just old, people. That's what's happening. So, yeah, I was really, really interested watching that. And it was funny because, well, Microsoft had a stab back at them, didn't they? They were like, this is how you lie our system flat, and they just turned it over. Taking the piss out of the fact that you had to unscrew it, put a screw in the thing, shut it closed, clip it on. You know, and it's a bit of a flashback to when Sony had a dig at Xbox about game sharing when the Xbox One first got launched, and the ridiculousness that was well, anyway, we're not going back into all that malarkey, but it was a bit of a flashback to that and a dig at that. I'm going to apologise for the lighting again. When I started this video, there was a huge amount of sunshine flying through the window, everything was fine. Now that it's clouded over, the TV is dominating the lighting of the room, so we are where we are. I will, long term, I will try and find a lighting solution so that I'm not constantly dimming in and out. One solution, of course, is to not have scrolling pictures on the TV, but I feel like you guys enjoy the images that I pull up. I grant you they're not overly interesting today because we're just talking about hardware, really. A lot of the time, you know, if I'm putting trailers and stuff up, again, not today because we're not talking about games, but I think it just leads to a bit more interest than just little static things in the background. I'm a little bit mixed on it, to be fair. I always like, when I'm watching people, I always kind of like the knickknacks they've collected, which is why when I did the vlogs downstairs, 100 odd of them, I actually quite liked having all my little collection behind me. I've got a few things brought up, which I've talked about before, just here, but there isn't really anywhere else to showcase stuff. Maybe I'll rethink this corner of this room at some point to see if I can get games and all sorts behind me. But at the moment, it is what it is, people, the studio. But I think it's working quite well. Anyway, I was really interested watching that teardown. I think just to see things like the liquid cooling on the CPU, the massive heatsink that's on it. I mean, it kind of leads into the next topic, which is the hard time that people are giving these consoles about their size. And it seems to be never ending. Like, I thought people had just kind of got over it. But when this video came out, it was like, oh my God, it's like comically big. It's like, no, it's not. Like, look, we're talking about, like, you can't, if you're still thinking that we're going to be making consoles the size of laptops, then you're out of your bloody mind. With the sort of power that we're expecting these things now to produce, and all the moaning that we've done all of this generation, especially with the PlayStation 4s, about the noise that they generate when they are running, you've got to anticipate that the boxes are going to get bigger. It's not a coincidence that both companies have made tower units effectively that you can lie on the side if you want to, but they're towers. They're basically PC tower units, and they have to be because the power in them for this next generation is taking a huge leap forward, people. We've not seen a leap like this in such a long, long time. And, you know, I think this sort of hails back to the 360 when it came out, when it was that big chunky sort of stand-up unit. Yes, you could lie on your side still, but most people had it on, you know, standing upright. and it was the same, and it had problems with heating. You know, they could have done with rejigging that a little bit, couldn't they? They had the red ring of death and all that malarkey. And people are going, oh, the PlayStation is ridiculously big. But the only reason that they're saying that is because they've gone thinner but wider, and the Xbox has got shorter but fatter. So they're kind of using the same area, just in different ways, and they're using different ways to cool it. And, you know, I don't understand why people are having such a big groan about the fact and making comical remarks about the fact that the consoles are comically big, or, you know, it's ridiculous. And I mean, what do you want them to do? Like, would you rather have a machine that sounds like a jet engine, or would you rather have a proper sized system that's going to cope with the job it's being asked to do and be nice and quiet for you? And I would take quiet every day of the week. I don't give a rat's ass if my console is the size of a laptop or the size of a house, people, as long as I can put it somewhere and it be quiet and be powerful. So, you know, I'm fed up of hearing people moaning and going on about the fact that these consoles are big. Like, I don't understand what people expect. Like, if you've got to understand the power that is in these things. It's outrageous power that are in these things now. And they were in the ones we've got, and that's why they're so bloody noisy. Interestingly, I mean, I am still really interested in how the Xbox Series X stays so quiet at the size and format that it is. But even that starts to whiz its fans away when you start hammering it a little bit with the big games. But it is deathly quiet in comparison to the PS4 Pro or the PS4s even. And, you know, I don't give a shit that they're big. Like, you know, it's like, oh, well, I've got a TV unit that it won't fit into. Well, you know, that's life, isn't it? You can't expect everything to fit in your TV unit forever. You know what I mean? Go, you know, save up and buy yourself another one. And in the meantime, shove it on its, you know, up the way on the floor or somewhere. You know, you'll make do. Don't worry about it. I mean, the amount of moaning I've heard about it, it's like, get over it already. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure, like, I'm in my head, I'm thinking my PlayStation 5 is going to be sat on its side in my TV unit, and I'm now thinking that it might actually be too big to do that. It might just go in because it is a fairly wide unit, but it might have to go on its side. I'm already thinking of ways to do that, and that's fine. I'd rather have that and have it nice and quiet than have it small enough to fit and noisy as feck again, because they're so bloody noisy, that PlayStation. So I'm delighted that they're big, frankly. You know what I mean? I don't really care. And once they're in situ and in place, I know for a fact that I'm going to get the Xbox Series X on its side in my TV unit. So that's one that'll work. Really, my only query really with them is when I have them on their side, especially with the Series X, for example, because they've built it specifically for the heat to generate out the top of the thing like a massive vent. So if I turn it on its side, how much space is there going to be between that vent and where the wall of the cabinet is, if you like? So that's my only consideration with it, to see just how much that heat's going to stay there, or is it going to push itself away quick enough? So that's my only thought about that. I'd rather not have them both standing up because that is a little bit awkward for the living room, but, you know, I would still make it work if I had to. It is what it is, you know what I mean? I'd rather have them quiet and enjoy my gaming experience without having to put headphones on to enjoy it, and not hear them going full pelt and still not hear them with the highest possible, you know, with the things pushing them graphically as hard as they can and still not hearing them. And also, I mean, I'm pretty sure that a hard drive will generate much more heat than SSD, for example. So that's something that's going to be taking heat away from them. So there's things they've done in the architecture that will reduce heat, and there's, you know, the way they've designed the fans to kick in and not kick in has also changed, certainly in the PlayStation. That is getting really dark again, isn't it? I've picked the wrong pictures again as well. The thing is, I always try, and if I just kept the Xbox pictures, we would have been fine. But then, you know, I didn't want to upset any PlayStation people. But can I find anything with a dark background that's PlayStation? No, I cannot. I suppose one option would be to dim the TV brightness, wouldn't it? Might have a think about that. So, anyway, I'm just fed up of hearing people talking about how big they are. Look, you know, if we want the sort of power that we're expecting and we want them to be nice and quiet, we've got to accept the fact they've got to be built this way. And, I suppose that PlayStation could have gone the same way as the X and made it fatter rather than, and that's basically what we got with the PS3 Fat, wasn't it? When it first came out, it was this big chunky, it didn't look nice at all, the PlayStation Fat. It didn't look nice at all. At least this time they've gone with a sleek, nice design that is clearly designed to be a tower unit. If you really want to, stick it on its side, you can do. And the same with the Xbox. And it's not new ground for the Xbox because the 360, the original one, well, in fact, all of them were really designed to stand upright. Even the slim ones were, the slim ones were most definitely the way they were designed, were meant to be sitting upright most of the time, but they could go on their sides. So, yeah, I'm, and then alongside, we're jumping into yet another topic that was on the list. And there was articles that came out this week, or there were discussions and podcasts and stuff. So basically, there's a whole bunch of people that have got early editions, not completed edition. Well, they're effectively Xbox Series X's, but they said that they were, pre-release versions. And they've all been playing away with them. And somebody made a comment, or a few people made a comment about the heat that was coming out the top of it. Somebody made a comment about the memory card getting really hot when he was just showing it to somebody. And it was a massive overreaction on one of their parts about how hot it was in the first place. And then the comment about how hot it was, there was a comment saying that there was so much heat coming out of it that if they closed all their windows and stuff, they'd probably heat the flat. And it's like, and people took that to say, oh, they're overheating and they're getting far too hot. And it's, no, that's not what they're saying. Listen, if I close my living room door and I've got my 55-inch TV on and one of the consoles, that room goes up by at least 2 to 3 degrees in the evening, simply by having that stuff on. So every console does that. Like, you're obviously noticing that the way that the Xbox Series X has been designed is that the heat is pummeled out of the top. And it's the whole purpose of it is the airflow is meant to shoot out the top of that vent system. And so you've got this constant level of heat being dispersed as it's sitting there or as it's blowing out. Yeah, anyway, most people that have one and, the Game Over Greggies of the world and I was going to say Alana Pierce, but I'm not sure if she actually, I haven't seen her comment on it, I don't think. I know I did, yeah. I'm sure she said that she hadn't seen anything out untowards and it just was what you expected. The box itself is nice and cool. It's just, if you put your hand over where the heat comes out, it's warm and hot. That's what it's meant to be, people. It's designed to be warm and hot when it's coming out of that section. The concern would be if it wasn't pummeling out of the thing. I mean, it's 12 teraflops of power, people. It's a massive amount of power that's being pushed out of the thing. It's going to be hot. It needs to get rid of that air into the room. So, I'm not concerned. I don't think anyone should be concerned. They were silly comments that were made in jest, I think, just to be sort of funny in a video. The other was actually made as a sensible comment about the fact that it would warm the room up if it was on all the time. Talking about a small room. My consoles do that now, along with my TV, so there's no surprise there. I'm sure it does it for everybody else as well. It's really annoying me that I'm going so dark, people. I'm sorry. I do apologise. I really need to find a proper solution for it. So, well, the solution is not to have the screenshots behind me, I suppose. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's always a degree, like, people pounce on that sort of stuff when they're trying to do the whole consoles war thing and just start winding people up saying you're going to get the red ring of death and hey, listen, you've not even seen or touched PlayStation haven't handed out early releases of PlayStation 5 to anybody yet. So, let's not be starting to have goes at people when there's clearly nothing wrong with the console. I mean, we've yet to see, interestingly, any actual next-gen games playing on an Xbox Series X. I mean, I find that really strange, but anyway, we'll find out what happens when we finally get around, and then I'm sure it'll all be fine. But anyway, the main feedback from all of these people that have these machines is that they're delighted with them. They think they're fantastic, especially when it comes to the speed, just the quality of gaming life you're getting on the thing. Every game is playing smoother than it was before. Everything is loading faster, to the point of ridiculousness faster. And the whole, it's just making your home gaming experience so much more enjoyable. And that's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? But all the power in the universe and that we can get. And just that gaming experience being taken to a place where you're not frustrated all the time when you die, or when you have to load up a game and it takes it 5 minutes and stuff. It's all going to be glorious, people. It really is. I mean, I'm really excited for this gen. It's a proper leap forward. I mean, where are we now? Yeah, we're talking about exactly a month from today, aren't we? Because it's the 10th, it's the 9th today, I think. And it's out on the 10th, well, a month tomorrow. It's out on the 10th of November, the Xbox Series X. And the PlayStation 5 in the United States of America and other places. But not here in the UK. We have to wait until the 19th. I think it's 9 days later. So, which is good for me, because I don't want both consoles on the same day, because I wanted a bit of time with one of them before the other one arrived. So I'll manage to get a chunk of videos done. I'm also gonna invest in the Elgato HD60 S Plus, I think it is. Yeah, because it's capable of doing the 1080p at 60 frames per second, which I can do now, or the 4K at 30 frames per second, which is pretty much what we're going to get. Unfortunately, what it can't do is 1440p at 60 frames per second, which would have been really nice. So I don't know, maybe there'll be some sort of patch for later, or maybe it's a hardware specific thing that it can't do it. But that's the only frustration, because there is going to be things that I wouldn't mind showing off at 1440p at 60, but can't do it. But it's just a direct replacement for what I've got, but it can do the 4K at 30. So I think what I'll do is, when I do get round to doing, let's say, Demon's Souls, record some Demon's Souls for you, I'll do one episode at 4K 30, and I'll do another episode at 1080p. Well, it'll be 1440p 60 actually, but I'll only be able to show you the 1080p 60. But you'll still get the idea of the frame rates and stuff and how well it's playing. You just won't get that extra bit of clarity on the picture. So I think it will be ideal for taking that forward with the Let's Play stuff that I do when I do get around to doing some. I'm really looking forward to doing some Xbox Series X recordings for you for things like Fallout 4 and stuff like that, to see how much better it plays even without a patch, just to see how that kicks in. And I'll try and pick some good stuff out of the catalogue. Let me know in the comments below about things you might want to see me playing straight off the bat with the Xbox Series X, that just to see the benefits that come with it out of the box without having any patches and stuff done for it. And I'll try and do some recordings for you, so let me know in the comments below. I'll remind you when we get close to the time. I'll probably do a video on it. And yeah, so then the next thing, I think this is going to be quite a quick vlog tonight, people, because I only had a few things to talk about. I'm not sure how long I've been talking for now, but I don't think it's been that long. I mean, the video of the teardown was only 7 minutes. I did tell you I didn't have much time to prepare, but it's Flaggers Up Friday, people. I didn't want to leave you with nothing at all. Nothing at all. Stupid sexy Flanders. I bet. Did anybody get that reference there? Let me know in the comments below. What else did we have, people? I think it was trophies, wasn't it? Yeah, so we've got, I might put my glasses on for this, because I did pull up an article from the IGN that kind of broke down what they were doing with these trophies. So they've mixed up the trophy system on the PlayStation. They've done it now, as it happens. I was going to go on, because I was going to look at my account. I looked at my account last night, and it hadn't quite kicked in to change me. I think I was level 14. Was I? Yeah, I think I was level 14 or 15. Can't remember now. But they've made the points work differently, so you've got this massive boost into what your points were now. Oh, Jesus. Started the app up and it just shut down. So where's my trophy at, people? There we go. Right, it's upped it now. So, oh, that's quite good. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I was level 14, right? I'm pretty sure. Christ, I only looked at it last night. And I'm now at level 301. So that's the ratio of how things have changed to how many points you get per whatever. So for level 14 or 14 and a half or whatever it was, I'm getting 301 points. I think that's about right. But it's also based on that level's been converted, but it's also based on the trophies themselves. So I think you get more points for platinum than you used to and stuff like that. So let's break it down, shall we? So the trophy level icon on PlayStation 5, as well as PlayStation app at a later date, will also be getting an upgrade. Currently, the trophies icon is a single star, but soon there will be more variants and ways to show off your accomplishments. They are as follows, people. So this is the ratio of the points you've got and what colour will be associated to your profile, right? So for bronze, if you're between 1 and 299 on those points that we were just mentioning, if you're between 1 and 299, you're bronze. If you're 300 to 599, you're silver. Hang on, that doesn't make any sense because it gave me a gold star when I looked at my app. And I'm only 301. Yeah, we'll have a talk about that in a minute. I'm going to go back and check. So, if you're 300, between 300 and 599, you are silver. If you are 600 and 900, between 600 and 998, you're gold. And if you are exactly 999, which is the top points you can have, you can't go any higher. If you are exactly 999, you are platinum. And that's how they've tried to boost the interest in trophies again. Because let's face it, nobody was giving a crap anyway, were they? By the point that I tell you what, hang on a minute. It's winding me up, this people. This is self-production. This is people. It's winding me right up that. I must be able to just show one picture, can't I? Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. I would have thought you could also pause a slideshow, but I didn't see a button for that either. Oh, what the hell. We shall leave it as so, people. You see the little thing at the bottom there that lets you... Well, that's basically my record. So I'm trying to point to it and it's going the other way. But the little thing here... That's the microphone recording. And then you've got the camcorder in front of me that's sort of piecing it all together. Sorry, it was just I was getting so dark. It was just ridiculous, people. I'm going to have a good think about the TV for next week. Maybe as I say, maybe the trick will be to turn... The TV is not used for anything else at the moment. It's only used for this. So the trick, until I get some sort of light that I can put on in front of me that's going to brighten me right up, which can sit on the desk, a daylight light of some description from Amazon. I'll maybe dim the TV picture down or something. Maybe this is why people don't have turning pictures behind them in proper television and stuff. Well, they've got massive studio lights and all sorts. I mean, I've got a lamp shining right in my face. I've got the big lights on above me here, but the TV just dominates. Anyway, so the icons will also have a subtle distinction that will visually suggest how close a player is to the next level. So let me go back to... Right, so I've got... there's basically like a reddish symbol for the bronze. There's the silvery colour for the silver. There's a gold star with basically they've got trophies inside the little images, and then you've got the platinum one at the end, which is sort of a bluish colour. And if I go back to mine, I've got a gold star, and I'm supposed to have a silver because I'm 301, so I've basically just broken into the silver section. Yeah. So it's 200 to 300, 200 to 299 is bronze, and I'm 301. So I've broken into the silver section, and I've got a gold star next to my name. So I think something's gone a bit wonky there. They're going to have to sort that out, unless I'm missing something. But that seems to be what's happening. I've certainly got a gold star with a trophy in it next to my 301, so that's not correct. Going by the points, going by that article anyway, and that would suggest that it's right as well, because it still tells you in the bar as to how far you are to the next level and such like. It will still the level ups should be quicker because it's now a bigger number range. So for me to get 301 to 302 will be a fraction of the time that it would have taken me to get from 14 to 15, because that's where the problem was. It took so bloody long to get from one level to the next, especially when you got past, I think it was level 10 or something. It got so slow to get to the next level. It was just, people just stopped paying interest to it. So this should raise a bit of interest in it again, which is quite cool. So I'll look forward to seeing how much of that's coming forward. I think someone did mention to me that they might be putting the tracking system with it as well, so you can track the trophies properly like Microsoft do, but that could be a complete and utter lie, people, so don't quote me on that. So there you are. So that's quite good. I'm quite glad they've... PlayStation, to be fair, they're going to give us a brand new interface for, like they always do with the new consoles. Xbox have pretty much said that they're not giving us a new... Actually, that's interesting. I have been talking for nearly 40 minutes, so... well, thereabouts. I did faff around before I actually sat down and recorded properly, so I think probably about 35 minutes or so. But Xbox said that I think we're going to get pretty much the same interface with the Series X that we have now. I think that we kind of know that. There'll be some tweaks to it, certainly, but it'll be pretty much the same format we've got. Whereas PlayStation are basically saying we've got a brand new interface, but we've never seen it yet. I mean, they're so far behind where they were with the PS4 launch. PS4 launch, we knew everything. But this time they're just keeping so many secrets from us, it's ridiculous. But we seem to be getting drip fed stuff now, so we'll see how things go. But I'm still uberly excited. I still think both consoles are going to kick ass, people. This is the first time I have felt, probably since the PS2, the 360 as well, probably since the 360, there was a massive leap forward. You know what I mean? And I remember when I got my PS2 and I played Final Fantasy X, for example, I was just like, holy hell, this looks amazing. And stuff like that. But when the 360 came along and you saw things like Gears of War and, there was some big ass titles on that system and they looked amazing. And there was that sort of generational leap into how the graphics worked as well when we moved away from PlayStation 2 to Xbox 360 or PS3 as it became, as it came out. It came out a year later, didn't it? It was a bit behind. So it's the first time I've had a really good buzz about them for a really long time. And, I felt last time, I felt like we were getting a jump forward, but it wasn't monumental. I felt like we were going to get, and even on day one when I got them, the games that I kind of felt most impressed by were things like Rise, Son of Rome, and, we got some visual spectacles, but in actuality, the gameplay and stuff wasn't a huge leap forward. Things like Dead Rising 3 were impressive because the extra power, they were able to put those gazillion zombies on the screen and stuff, which was really mind-blowing at the time. But outside of that, I didn't feel like we'd leapt forward in any great direction. This time, I feel like they've both put a huge amount of effort into recreating the entire architecture of these things, using hardware that's not even been used in PCs yet, really, really going for it and setting the bar for what people want and going forward with gaming. So I'm really, really excited about it all. I really am. So, I'm going to ignore all the guff, other than to talk about it on here, obviously, but I'm going to ignore all the guff that people spit out about trying to hate on one console after another. Just let it go, people, you know what I mean? And just enjoy the one that you want to play on, and let's get on with it, shall we? I'm lucky enough to be able to afford both, and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of both of them. I mean, I love the fact that we have... If we only had one console, there would be zero, and I mean zero reason for them to give us anything great. They would just give us whatever guff they wanted. With PlayStation's library of single player, first party games, be as good as it is without Microsoft there, and would Microsoft's be as good as they've been and getting now that they're getting all these studios back on? Would they be as good if it wasn't for the competition? No, of course they wouldn't, because there wouldn't be any reason for them to have that many studios or to pump that amount of money in, because no one would. It's a good thing to have two people on form. You don't want one of them doing worse than the other. You want them both on fire is what you want. Not literally. Not overheating, people. So let's just rejoice in the fact that they've both got it right this time. and that we're going to get the most epic and awesome 7 years of gaming that were probably 7 years, I'm guessing a little bit, but I reckon. And I'm sure, I don't see any reason why there would need to be a mid-generation leap in any manner, because I don't think they would produce anything. I mean, we got the mid-generation leap last time because they wanted to kick 4K in. This time around, 8K's, decades away, people. We're never going to have 8K gaming for such a long time. So, there's no reason for them to be given as a midway console jump, other than to do what they might have done in the old generation, which was to give us a slimmer version or a smaller version because technology changes. So that's something to look forward to for sure. But unless there's any particular reason you'd need to get a slim one or what have you, or people just did though, didn't they? They just bought the slim versions when they came out. So that'll be interesting. Hey, maybe as things get cheaper, they'll put the optical drive back on. But I think they decided the optical drive, both on the X and the PlayStation, they've decided the cost wasn't worth it because people weren't using them. I don't use them. So I use the optical out on my TV to get my sound out, and that sound is coming for both consoles. Both consoles into the TV, optical out into my headphones and into my speakers and stuff. So, I think people just weren't using them. And so the cost of putting them in was just crazy. And I think it was still quite a high cost to put them in anyway, so it was easier just to take them out. I think it's the first two consoles without an optical out, to be fair. But hey, we'd rather have SSD, would we not, than an optical that we're never going to use. So so there you are. I am rambling on somewhat, people. Hey, we've hit the 40-odd minutes mark. It's fine. Did all right there, considering I had very little planning, people. I mean, those of you that have been watching these have noticed that I even regurgitated some of the same pictures I've used over and over again because we were just talking about consoles. So I didn't have to go digging for very pretty pictures this time around. So, I mean, I'm really surprised at how dark I still was there. That said, I've still left up a big white element on the screen there, so maybe that's why. You know what? I think I'll have a little look this weekend and see how much a daylight light is, see if it'll have any impact. Because I could, in theory, just sit a small one here out of camera view and just have it in my face. We'll see how we go. So apologies once again that I got a bit dark there. I think it's only going to get worse as we approach the autumn and the winter, people, because it's not going to be very bright outside whenever I do these things, because it's going to start going, the clocks go back at the end of the month, so it's going to be dark at 2 in the afternoon and stuff. So I shall go and have a look and see how I'm sure I can get a fairly cheap one. I'm sure I saw people talking about them, saying that investing in a decent one is a good idea, but you can get some decently priced ones. So I'll go and have a look, and we'll try and see if I can get me a bit brighter. If not, the other option is not to have the pictures, but you guys were enjoying them. Quite a few of you commented on it. So there you are, people. That is all I've got to talk about. And if I carry on, I shall just be rabbiting on about all sorts of things pointless. Rambling on about nothing at all, boring your pants off you all. Flaggins up, people. Let me know in the comments below about any of the topics I've just been talking about. I love hearing from you guys, so please leave the comments below. I always get back to you. It's not always the same day, but I do always get back to you within a few days. I love having conversations with you, chatting away to you, so please do leave the comments below. And I hope you're all enjoying these podcasts still. I have noticed the numbers have been growing, considering where we started off. I think the fact that I've now got proper intros and I've now started putting the images, the videos and stuff behind me again, and we've really refined it. It's started to get popular, starting to get more popular. We're circling the 100 mark. Like last week's was 100 odd views. It's always going to depend on topic as well. This week's was 90 views so far. I realise this isn't much in the world of YouTube, people, but I'm delighted with that for my little channel. So yeah, I'm still enjoying doing them. I love sitting down on a Friday and doing them, or like I did on that Wednesday when something happened and I wanted to chat about it. So anyway, let me know in the comments below about any of the things I've been talking about. It has been an honour and a privilege serving for you once again in this podcast of mine, and I shall see you all in the next one, folks. Take it easy. Bye.